The Knicks just had one of their up-and-coming prospects stolen from them, and I'm here to break it all down. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest, and before we hop into today's video, I just want to remind you guys, 83% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So that probably means you, yes, you, the person who is watching this video right now has not subscribed to the Knicks Digest YouTube channel. Stop what you're doing right now, hit that subscription button in order to keep up to date with all Knicks news. We're talking injuries, we're talking rotations, anything regarding Knicks. The Knicks Digest YouTube channel is going to keep you up to date. This past Friday, one of the New York Knicks up-and-coming prospects just had himself a Wilt Chamberlain type night. Dylan Windler finished the game with 23 points and bringing down 33 rebounds. The NBA G League official Twitter account posted a nice post for Dylan Windler. A historic night for Dylan Windler. With a career-high 33 rebounds, he now sets the new record for most boards recorded in a single game in G League history. The interesting thing about that is when you see 33 rebounds, first, that number is definitely going to jump off from the page. Second, I feel like your mind automatically goes towards that player being a big, but actually Dylan Windler is a shooting guard. So that's kind of crazy. My theory, I wasn't able to watch the game. I did see the highlights, and I did see within those highlights that a lot of those rebounds were long. So, of course, in today's NBA and G League landscape, seeing how the three-point is like the prominent offensive weapon, a lot of those shots, what happens when you take a shot? If you miss, that rebound is more than likely going long. So that's a perfect opportunity for guards to swoop in and grab those rebounds. Now, before we dive into the game, let's talk about Dylan Windler, the player himself. Because me, honestly, I didn't really know a lot about him. So he's actually a former first-round draft pick who played his college ball at Belmont. He was actually selected by the Cleveland Cavaliers, not the New York Knicks, in the 2019 draft. He played in Cleveland for about 3 seasons, and then actually the Knicks just signed him technically last year in 2023. Now, the actual game itself, of course, I went onto YouTube, checked out the highlights. Now, the type of player that Dylan Windler is, first and foremost, the thing that jumped out to me was that he's actually left-handed, so I'm sure Leon Rose loves that, a la Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. Dylan Windler is lefty, but he's actually ambidextrous. Within those highlights, I saw him attacking the rim and finishing a lot with his right hand. Now, he could put the ball on the floor. He is athletic. Now, he is a shooter. If I take a look into his numbers, as far as his shooting numbers, so for the Westchester Knicks this season, he is shooting 36% from the field on 14 attempts. So the volume is definitely there. Now, if we take a look into his three-point shooting, he is shooting 32% on 9 attempts. So the volume of shots is definitely there. Case in point, on December 6th, when the Westchester Knicks went up against the Raptors 905 on December 6th, Dylan Windler had a nice game. He ended up with 15 points, shooting 5 of 11 from the field, shooting 3 of 8 from 3. Another good game he had was on December 10th when he was going up against the Long Island Nets. Ended up with 11 points, shooting 4 of 15 from the field. And another game he had against the Capital City Go-Go, which is the Washington Wizards G League affiliate. He ended the game with 17 points, shooting 6 of 12 from the field, 3 of 8 from three-point land. I mean, the guy has shown you that he could definitely compete with NBA pro talent. He could put the ball in the bucket, definitely. And of course, another interesting thing is seeing how he had a Wilt Chamberlain type night. You would think that the varsity team is going to call the Westchester Knicks and tell him to bring him up. But what actually ended up happening was the other prominent NBA team, who's on the complete opposite side of the country, ended up calling him. Big shout out to Westchester Knicks wing Dylan Windler on signing a 2-way contract with the Lakers, the 20th NBA call-up of the year. Now, that's definitely disappointing for Knicks fans because you can never have too much talent on your team. We would have loved to see him on the bench. And I've always wondered when players have these type of nights or when players have these type of games from the G League, why the varsity team just doesn't call them up. If we take a look into the Knicks starting 5, obviously we got Brunson, we got Dante DiVincenzo, now we got OG Anunoby, we got Julius Randle playing the 4, and we got Isaiah Hartenstein playing the 5, seeing how Mitchell Robinson is out for the rest of the season. So that means coming off the bench. So now the main players coming off the bench, we got Miles McBride being the backup point guard, backing up Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, and Josh Hart. Those are the 3 main players that are coming off the bench. I mean, Evan Fournier is in, like Chris and I keep saying, he's in Coach Thibodeau's doghouse. He's like never going to get off the bench. More than likely, he's going to be a piece in the trade deadline coming up. Ryan Arcidiacono, he's right now the fourth string point guard. Malachi Flynn and Deuce are kind of battling for that second spot. Deuce is number 2, Malachi is number 3 right now. I think Knicks fans can say I think that's fair. So I've always wondered, like, Dylan Windler has shown the ability to play against pro talent. I get it. It's not NBA pro talent. It is a G League. But a lot of the NBA players go to the G League. Imani Bates, Lance Stevenson's in the G League right now, I believe. So if I was a coach, I would 100% give those players an opportunity. And I get it. Then the contracts come into play, and you have a boss that he might not want to do it. But why not give the guy a shot? He's shown that he has the ability to stand out with pro talent. But if we take a step back and we actually dissect maybe why the Lakers and Darvin Ham wanting to get Dylan Windler on his team, the Lakers right now are kind of a hot mess. Right now, their rotations are all over the place. Jared Vanderbilt, Taurean Prince, Rui Hachimura, who's injured. A lot of these rotations aren't able. The biggest problem that the Lakers have right now is that they're not able to put the ball in the bucket. LeBron and AD are having amazing seasons, especially AD, who's actually been healthy for most of the season, knock on wood. But Darvin Ham is definitely under the hot seat right now because his rotations, the players that he's been putting out on the floor at the same time, just haven't been able to put the ball in the bucket. And with Dylan Windler having this historic type night, you never know. Maybe Darvin Ham is literally grasping at strings right now, and he's going to tell him to just go on the floor and show him what he got. Darvin Ham, he's pulling at strings right now. He's trying Max Christie, who's a sophomore in the NBA. He's sticking with his guy Cam Reddish, who's really known as a defensive player, but he really can't hit anything. There was that huge controversy in the beginning of the season when the Lakers were in Miami and LeBron drove down the lane, but he kicked it out to Cam Reddish, who was wide open in the corner. And of course, just like every LeBron topic, people got on his back and started asking if that was the right play, throwing it to a player who's not known for a shooter. Darvin Ham, man, he's kind of in a corner right now. He's just trying to see what will work. And again, like I said, Jared Vanderbilt, again, another defensive type player who's not known for his offensive game, and his shooting has gotten better, but he's not known as a shooter. D'Angelo Russell's decision making is always up and down. He's a super streaky shooter, super hot at times, but then when he's cold, it's ice cold. And one of the more disappointing players for the Lakers right now and pretty much all season is Gabe Vincent. He was one of the bigger free agent signings last offseason. You know, last season with the Miami Heat going to the finals, being a really prominent reason why the Miami Heat went to the finals against the Denver Nuggets. But this season, he's literally have not been able to stay on the floor because of his injury. So Darvin Ham has a lot to work out. Maybe this signing of Dylan Windler maybe is the first step of finding out a solution. But that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you guys disappointed that the Lakers came in and swooped in and took one of our prospects? Leave it in the comments, and we'll check you out on the next video. Peace.